For as long as I can remember, I've been a really anxious person, especially when it comes to encountering other people. Anytime I've been in like a large group scenario, even if I know the people, I find myself just feeling really overwhelmed and really stressed and really anxious. And I think for me at least, a lot of that anxiety comes from being permanently obsessed and concerned with if the people I'm around like me. So when I get around other people, I'll often find that I'm constantly thinking about what I can say to make them like me or what I can do to make them think I'm funny. And I'm always worried and stressed and anxious that they're not gonna like me, that I'm gonna say something, they're gonna think it's dumb, or that I'm gonna do something and they're gonna think I'm stupid or something like that. And I spent so much of my life encountering other people being consistently just really stressed and anxious about getting them to like me. But that all changed a couple years ago. I was helping out with this conference in the summer, and I was doing some of the behind the scenes work. And part of that behind the scenes work was being involved with some people that I had looked up to for a really long time. And I knew going into the room, I was gonna be so intimidated and so anxious to be around these people that I didn't really know. And not only did I not really know them, but they were people I really looked up to and thought were super cool and just, really gifted and talented individuals. And so I was really anxious about being there. I was really anxious about being there. I was really anxious about being in the room with them. And I was sitting and talking to the Lord about it before the weekend. It was a weekend conference before it started. And I was talking to Jesus, and he said to me in prayer, he said, you know, Lauren, what if instead of trying everything to get the people in the room to like you, what if you go into the room with the mindset of really just choosing to love them the best you can? So instead of constantly doing everything I could to get them to love me, the Lord was challenging me to go into the room focused on what they needed, how I could be there for them, how I could love them, to shift my focus from, are they liking what I'm saying? Are they thinking that I'm funny? Do they think that I'm good at this? Do they think that I should be here? All of the stuff that normally made me feel so anxious in social situations. He was inviting me to flip that around and to see how I could love the people in the room best. And so I just made the conscious decision to go into that room and to choose to intentionally love to the best of my ability. And in making that shift and focusing in on loving them instead of obsessing over trying to get people to like me, it really took me out of myself and gave me freedom to be more of myself, because I was less stressed on behaving a certain way or acting a certain way. And genuinely, that weekend ended up being so much more enjoyable for me, because I wasn't constantly panicking on if I was successful in making everyone around me love me. I was just focused on loving them and enjoying them and spending time with some really good human beings. And so the weekend in and of itself, and making that shift, not only did I become less anxious, but the experience was just so much more fun, so much more life-giving, and so much more filled of joy. And all it took was just that small shift between focusing on myself, on striving for love, and focusing instead on giving love on others. And so my invitation for you, if you struggle with social anxiety, obviously this does not fix anxiety, this doesn't cure anxiety, I'm not saying that at all. But if you struggle with being in a room with other people without feeling anxious, I would encourage you next time you are around a group of people to not spend so much time thinking about how you can make them love you, but to change the focus and to look at what they need, how they need to be loved, how they desire to be loved. Shift that focus. Focus in on how you can love others, because I know that, at least in my life, that has really helped me in some ways manage the social anxiety, because it keeps me from obsessing about myself, and it encourages me to really focus on loving others. My name's Lauren, and this was my story with social anxiety.